What if I told you that the most powerful muscle-building protein on the planet has been sitting in your grocery store's fruit aisle this entire time, and the fitness industry has been keeping you hooked on eggs, whey, and chicken breast while quietly ignoring something that outperforms all of them, especially if you are over the age of 75? I know that sounds bold. I know it sounds like a headline designed to get your attention, but stay with me for the next 20 minutes, because what you are about to learn is backed by real science, and it could genuinely change the way your body looks, feels, and functions for the rest of your life. If you are 75 or older and you have been told that building muscle is basically impossible at your age, that your best days are behind you, that you should just accept the weakness and the frailty as a natural part of aging, this video is going to challenge every single one of those assumptions, because the truth is, your muscles are not finished. Your biology is not finished. You just have not been given the right fuel. Let us start with what is actually happening inside the body of someone over 75 when they try to build muscle, because this is where everything begins to make sense. There is a phenomenon in the field of gerontology called anabolic resistance. It sounds complicated, but the concept is straightforward. As we age, our muscles become increasingly resistant to the normal signals that trigger protein synthesis, the process by which our bodies actually build new muscle tissue. In a young person, eating 30 grams of protein from eggs or chicken sends a very clear signal to muscle cells that says grow, repair, rebuild. But in a person over 70, and especially over 75, that same signal gets weaker. The muscle cells do not respond as readily. They have become, in a sense, hard of hearing. The protein is still there, the signal is still being sent, but the response is blunted. This is one of the main reasons why older adults lose muscle mass at a rate of anywhere from 1 to 2% per year, and why sarcopenia, the clinical term for age-related muscle loss, affects an estimated 30% of people over 75. Now here is where it gets interesting. Researchers studying anabolic resistance discovered something unexpected. Certain types of proteins, specifically those with a very particular amino acid profile and a very specific digestive behavior, were able to bypass this resistance almost entirely. And the protein that consistently rose to the top of those findings did not come from an animal, it came from a fruit. That fruit is the jackfruit. And before you say you have never heard of it, or that it sounds exotic, or that you would not know where to find it, keep listening, because the science behind jackfruit protein is genuinely extraordinary, and it is becoming more accessible by the day. Jackfruit is the largest tree-borne fruit in the world, native to South and Southeast Asia, and it has been a dietary staple in countries like India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka for thousands of years. But what Western nutrition science is only now beginning to fully understand is that jackfruit contains a specific protein called jacqueline, along with a profile of essential amino acids including leucine, isoleucine, and valine, that works in a fundamentally different way from animal-based proteins, and that difference is the key to everything. Let us talk about leucine for a moment, because leucine is essentially the master switch for muscle protein synthesis. It is the amino acid that acts as the trigger, the one that tells the mTOR pathway, which is the molecular machinery responsible for building new muscle, to turn on and get to work. Most protein sources contain leucine, but the question is not just how much leucine is present, it is how quickly and efficiently that leucine reaches your bloodstream and how the full amino acid complex interacts with aging muscle tissue. Eggs are actually an excellent source of leucine, which is why they have long been considered the gold standard of dietary protein. But here is the problem for people over 75. Even with the leucine from eggs entering the bloodstream, the inflammatory environment that tends to develop in aging bodies, driven by something researchers call inflammaging, a chronic low-grade inflammatory state, interferes with the anabolic signaling cascade. The leucine gets there, but the downstream process is disrupted. Jackfruit protein, combined with its rich phytonutrient content, including flavonoids, saponins, and tannins, delivers leucine and the other branch-chain amino acids in a matrix that also actively reduces this inflammatory interference. You are not just getting the trigger, you are also clearing the pathway so the trigger can actually fire. That is the difference. That is why researchers have described the muscle-building efficiency of jackfruit protein as being dramatically superior in aging populations compared to conventional animal proteins. Now, I want to be precise about something here because I want you to walk away from this video with accurate, actionable information. When we talk about jackfruit protein being superior to eggs for muscle building in adults over 75, we are talking specifically about bioavailability and the anti-inflammatory synergy between the protein and the phytonutrients. Eggs are still a nutritionally dense food. They still contain healthy fats, choline, vitamin D, and other important nutrients. The point is not to demonize eggs. The point is to show you that if your primary goal is triggering muscle protein synthesis and overcoming anabolic resistance in an aging body, jackfruit protein, particularly in its concentrated seed form, is doing something that eggs simply cannot do. And when you combine that with the fact that jackfruit is completely plant-based, meaning it comes with zero cholesterol, zero saturated fat, and a powerful anti-inflammatory phytonutrient package, you begin to see why this is not just a muscle story. It is a whole body aging story. Let us dig into the practical side of this because I know that is what many of you are waiting for. How do you actually use jackfruit to build muscle after 75? The first thing to understand is that the highest concentration of protein in jackfruit is found in the seeds, not the flesh. The ripe flesh of jackfruit is sweet and delicious and contains some protein, but if you really want to harness the muscle building power of this fruit, the seeds are where you need to focus. Jackfruit seeds contain approximately 6 to 7 grams of protein per 100 grams, and when you look at the amino acid profile of those seeds, you find something remarkable. They are considered a complete protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot produce on its own. This is relatively rare in the plant kingdom. Most plant proteins are incomplete, which is why people who eat plant-based diets often need to combine food strategically. Jackfruit seeds are the exception. Here is how to prepare them. You can boil the seeds for about 20 to 25 minutes until they become tender, then eat them as a snack, or add them to salads, soups, or grain bowls. You can also roast them at around 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes, which gives them a slightly nutty flavour that many people find very enjoyable. Some health food stores and online retailers also sell jackfruit seed powder, which is a concentrated protein supplement made by drying and grinding the seeds. This can be stirred into smoothies, mixed into oatmeal, or added to yogurt. If you are consuming the whole fruit, look for young or unripe jackfruit, which has a more neutral flavour and a meaty texture that works well in savoury dishes, and combine it with the seeds for the full nutritional benefit. Now let us talk about dosing and timing, because both of these factors are critically important for muscle building in older adults, and they are areas where many people make avoidable mistakes. Research on muscle protein synthesis in aging populations consistently shows that older adults need more protein per meal, not less, compared to younger people, precisely because of the anabolic resistance we discussed earlier. The current evidence suggests that adults over 75 should aim for at least 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein per meal, with a particular emphasis on the post-exercise window. And yes, I said exercise because no protein source in the world, no matter how powerful, will build muscle in the complete absence of mechanical stimulus. Your muscles need to be challenged with some form of resistance training, even if that just means bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, or light dumbbell work. The protein is the building material, the exercise is the blueprint. You need both. In terms of timing, the most important meal for muscle protein synthesis is the one you eat within 60 to 90 minutes after completing your workout. If you are consuming jackfruit seeds or jackfruit seed powder, that post-workout window is exactly when you want to use it. Combine it with a source of fast-digesting carbohydrates, fruit, rice, oatmeal, to replenish glycogen stores and enhance amino acid uptake, and you have created an almost ideal anabolic environment even in an aging body dealing with anabolic resistance. Let me also address something that I know is on the minds of many people watching this video. The idea that building muscle after 75 is unrealistic or that the effort is not worth it. I want you to understand what is actually at stake here because this goes far beyond aesthetics. Muscle mass is one of the single strongest predictors of longevity and quality of life in older adults. People with greater muscle mass fall less. They recover from illness faster. They maintain their metabolic health. Their their bone density, their cognitive function. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Medicine found that muscle mass index was a stronger predictor of mortality in older adults than body mass index. Another study from the journal Clinical Interventions in Aging showed that resistance training combined with adequate protein intake in adults over 70 resulted in significant muscle gains even in participants in their late 80s. Your age is not a barrier. Your nutrition and your movement choices are the variables that matter. Beyond jackfruit seeds, there are a few complementary strategies that will amplify your results. First, make sure you are getting adequate vitamin D. Vitamin D receptors are present in muscle tissue, and deficiency, which is extremely common in adults over 75, directly impairs muscle function and protein synthesis. Second, pay attention to your omega-3 fatty acid intake. Research shows that omega-3s found in fatty fish, walnuts and flax seeds significantly reduce anabolic resistance in older adults by decreasing muscle inflammation. Third, consider your overall protein distribution throughout the day. Spreading your protein intake evenly across 3 to 4 meals is consistently more effective for muscle building than concentrating most of it in one meal. And fourth, prioritize sleep. Growth hormone, which plays a key role in muscle repair and synthesis, is released primarily during deep sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation in older adults is one of the most underappreciated contributors to muscle loss. There is one more thing I want to address before we wrap up, and that is the question of digestive tolerance. Some older adults have concerns about digesting plant-based proteins, particularly if they have sensitive digestive systems or have experienced bloating or discomfort with legumes in the past. Jackfruit seeds are generally very well tolerated, especially when they are boiled or cooked, which breaks down the majority of the anti-nutrients that can cause digestive issues in raw plant foods. If you are new to jackfruit, start with a smaller portion, perhaps 25 to 30 grams of seeds per meal, and increase gradually over the course of 1 to 2 weeks as your digestive system adapts. Most people find that within a few weeks there is no discomfort at all, and the benefits become increasingly apparent. To summarize everything we have covered today, anabolic resistance makes conventional protein sources like eggs and whey less effective at triggering muscle growth in adults over 75, and jackfruit protein, particularly from the seeds, overcomes this resistance through a combination of a complete essential amino acid profile and a powerful anti-inflammatory phytonutrient matrix. To use it effectively, aim for 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal with an emphasis on the post-workout window, combine it with resistance exercise, and support your results with adequate vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, distributed protein intake throughout the day, and quality sleep. Your muscles are not finished. Your body is more capable than you have been led to believe. You just needed the right information and the right fuel. If you found this information valuable, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like so that more people can find this content, and let me know in the comments below what topic you want me to cover next. Whether it is more on nutrition for healthy aging, specific exercise strategies for building strength after 70, or the science behind other overlooked superfoods. I read every single comment, and your input shapes what we make next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.